So he calls himself the Eklavya of the RSS. Remember, he's supposed to be in a non-partisan chair. Is this conduct okay? Does the opposition have reason to feel aggrieved, or is this just a pressure-building tactic? I want to show you the numbers in the Rajya Sabha, because remember, to be able to move the no-confidence motion, you need 14 days' time, which they don't have. There are only 8 days left before this particular winter session ends. And then, secondly, you need the majority in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, which the opposition simply doesn't have. So, I want to go across to Sushmita Deb and Aparajita Sarangi. Sushmita Deb, to you first. You know, you're moving this no confidence motion, knowing fully well that you don't have 10, 14 days which are required, because you have far fewer than that, which is the number of days required before this motion can be moved. Secondly, you don't have the numbers in the Rajya Sabha and in the Lok Sabha. So, is this just a desperate pressure building tactic from the opposition?
No, there is no desperation. I take objection to the use of that word. It's very simple. Once the motion is moved, he has to first allow us to read it in the parliament, which he's not allowing by using the BJP to create chaos in parliament. Now you're talking about the number game. Rahul, there are some instances in life, it's not about winning the war, but there is a message. There is a message, and in moving this motion, because the way the Rajya Sabha is being run, we have grown into parliamentarians knowing that the chair is supreme and one must respect the chair. But I think sometimes the bias becomes so glaring, to remain silent is actually a disservice to parliamentary democracy. The kind of personal remarks that come across the house from the chair, the kind of disparaging comments one makes towards members of parliament is totally unbecoming and hurtful. And last but not the least, any person who watches the proceedings in Rajya Sabha would straight away know that there is everything partisan in the way it's being run.
Aparajita Sarangi, the job of the chair is to be like a neutral umpire. Even if you are a partisan observer, you would observe that he's not really being neutral. I mean, even most BJP leaders I speak to off record, they also say, okay, is he overdoing it? Just a little bit. He's supposed to behave like a neutral umpire. When he says, I'm an Eklavya of the RSS, he clearly carries his political beliefs to the chair, and some of that comes out in his conduct. Is that problematic in your view, or do you think it's kosher?
We are well aware of the fact that bringing a no-confidence motion against the Vice President of the country, the chairperson of Rajya Sabha, is for the first time. And this shows the disrespect to the chair by all these opposition party people. Now, having said that, let me tell you that these people have gone for diversionary tactics. In fact, this is not the first time that they had decided to go for bringing this motion. Last session also they were contemplating, but they did not. This time they did, because we talked of George Soros. As simple as that. So I think this I will term as diversionary tactics, one. And number two.
No, but what does Mamata Banerjee have to do with George Soros? She's the one who moved this idea.
Prime Minister Modi.
I mean, isn't it a bit of a stretch that now you're seeing the hand of George Soros in everything that's happening?
Has been established in the country. I will definitely say that, it is all corresponding to what happened in the Lok Sabha. You remember the other day what happened. During the 0 hour, a senior leader of the party, Bharatiya Janata Party, rose up to put forth 10 questions. After 3 questions pertaining to George Soros, we wanted to know what was the relation between Sonia Gandhi ji and the George Soros Foundation. That was it. And there was an uproar, absolute uproar, mayhem in the Lok Sabha from the opposition side. Why so? If you have absolutely nothing to hide, you should be smiling there, and you should be actually have the patience, displaying the patience to listen to the rest of the 7 questions. And from there it started. So for me and for all of us who are watching us, it is all diversionary tactics.
Okay, you're saying this is linked to the charges against George Soros, which is why the opposition is so agitated. Let Sushmita Dev respond to that.
See, I just want to say one thing. In our democracy and as per our constitution, Madam Sarangi, nobody is above the law, not even the Vice President, not you, not me, and not even the President of India or the Prime Minister of India. So don't talk about the Vice President of India like he's God. Oh, he's the Vice President of India, and how can you do this to him? Sorry, the
No,
Constitution
but
is
aren't you
supreme. That
disrespecting
is
this
the
chair?
first
To make
principle.
your point,
1 second,
Sushmita, is
Rahul,
one
let
thing.
me finish.
Ma'am, is the
Rahul,
opposition in this no confidence
no, 1
motion
second.
overdoing it? Because ultimately it's the chair which also needs to be respected.
No, excuse me. I didn't hear what you said. But first, I'd like to reply to my colleague, Madam Sarangi. Secondly, you're talking about diversionary tactics. Look at the state of unemployment, inflation situation, the ghastly situation in Manipur. How you're depriving states, and you're bothered about Soros. I mean, that is the biggest diversionary tactic. You have exposed yourself, madam, as a party which does not want to debate on real issues that are impacting the nation. I mean, any common citizen who is today starving because of food inflation will choose food inflation over Soros. Please believe me. And if you don't know that, then you don't know the ground reality of what is happening in India.
Okay, I want to go across to Himanshu Mishra from our National Bureau. He's tracking this. Himanshu, is this a red herring that they've brought this no confidence motion knowing they don't have the numbers, knowing they don't have the number of days required to be able to present this before the Rajya Sabha? कुछ होगा इस no confidence motion का, या एक तरीके से they're just going through the motions, तमाशा कर रहे हैं ताकि प्रेशर बने वाइस चेयरमैन पे और चेयर ऑफ द हाउस पे?
देखिए, बिल्कुल राहुल, विपक्ष की कोशिश है कि इसको लेकर जो है एक प्रेशर टैक्टिक्स की जाए। और दूसरी तरफ अगर आप देखें तो विपक्ष एक मैसेज देना चाहता है कि वाइस प्रेसिडेंट जो है वो अपोजिशन को जो है बोलने का मौका नहीं देते हैं, टोका टाकी ज्यादा करते हैं, रूलिंग पार्टीज को जो है ज्यादा मौका देते हैं। लेकिन अगर आप इस नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन में देखें जिसमें इम्पीचमेंट की बात है, 14 दिन का समय लगता है अगर आपको इस पे डिवीजन कराना हो। सबसे पहले जो है जब ये मोशन लाया जाएगा तो उसके लिए एक्सेप्ट किया जाए नहीं किया जाए तब डिवीजन होगा, उसके बाद डिस्कशन होगा और उसके बाद जो है उस पर फिर से डिवीजन होगा, यानी कि वोटिंग होगा। 14 दिन का टाइम है। अब सरकार जो सेक्रेटरी जनरल है राज्यसभा के, उनको तय करना है कब लाना है। और क्योंकि ये चेयरमैन के खिलाफ है तो जो डिप्टी चेयरमैन है हरिवंश, उनके साथ कंसल्टेट किया जाएगा और उसके बाद किया जाएगा। तो मुझे लगता है कि इस सेशन में तो नहीं आ पाएगा क्योंकि ये सिर्फ इसी सेशन के लिए मान्य है। अगर अगले सेशन में लाना होगा तो विपक्ष को दोबारा से जो मोशन है वो मूव करना पड़ेगा। और राज्यसभा में अगर ये मोशन पास भी हो जाता है तो उसके बाद आपको लोकसभा में जाना पड़ेगा क्योंकि लोकसभा के भी जो वोटर है वो उपराष्ट्रपति के लिए चुनाव के लिए वोट करते हैं। तो ऐसे में लोकसभा में भी इस मोशन को पास कराना पड़ेगा। तो कहीं ना कहीं विपक्ष ये बात अच्छी तरीके से जानता है कि नंबर्स उनके पास नहीं है, लेकिन एक मैसेज देना चाहते हैं कि जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पोस्ट है वो कहीं ना कहीं अपोजिशन पार्टीज की जो आवाज है उसको उठाने नहीं दे रही है, उसको टोका टाकी कहीं ना कहीं बायसनेस की बात को वो संदेश के तौर पे देना चाहते हैं।
That's the message they want to send, that he's acting like a biased umpire. Himanshu Mishra, thank you for joining us with that perspective. Aparajita Sarangi. Now here's the thing. Even if this is just pressure building tactic and it succeeds to the extent that the Vice President realizes he's under scrutiny and therefore moderates his behavior a bit, that's essentially what the opposition is aiming for. Even they know they don't have the numbers. They know they don't have the number of days required to bring this motion. Therefore, it's just a pressure building tactic to trying to tell the Vice President, please behave like a neutral umpire.
Now, let me tell you that the Vice President, who is also the chairperson of the Rajya Sabha, has to run the Rajya Sabha as per the parliamentary procedures. Somebody standing on the chair and waving the paper at the Rajya Sabha chair cannot be accepted. He has a no-nonsense approach to things. His working style, in fact, we all need to appreciate. And let me tell you that he wants to enforce discipline within the Rajya Sabha. He wants to uphold the decorum and dignity of the House. What's wrong in that? In fact, he has been running the House so very well. He's erudite, he's a highly respectable gentleman and with loads of experience in public life. So I think it is an absolute expression of disrespect to the chair, number one. Number two, as you said, I fully endorse, they know fully well that this no confidence motion is baseless and this is without without feet, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing, as we say always. You know, we have majority both in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, one. And number two, this 14 days notice has also not been given.
Okay, so
In
Sushmita, this is a
2020,
bogey.
Let me tell
this
you,
is
Rahul,
a political bogey. Because you don't have 14 days required. If you had to do this, you should have done this with better planning. If you had 14 days, you could have pressed for a division. Even if you lost, you know you don't have the time. So this is all sound and fury, not amounting to any tangible result.
You know, Rahul, you are so focused on the technicality of it that you are really missing the whole point about what a parliamentary democracy was. You seem to be elated that 14 days, 14 days. Please, let me tell you something. What is triggered? When was this triggered? It has been triggered by a certain situation and circumstances that has happened in the Rajya Sabha. The person you just asked, interviewed before me on the show, he's himself saying if not this session, it will go to the next session. So why are you so fixated on 14? Please focus on what you showed and ran before we came on the show. How can a person in the chair talk about which organization, which ideologue he belongs to? It is unprecedented. It is unprecedented. Today, when a member of parliament with his limited time quota speaks and the chair interrupts to give his opinion 16 times in the middle of the chair, that is blasphemous in a democracy. To keep opening the mic of the parliamentary affairs ministers 3 times and not allow the leader of the opposition to speak and then say house adjourned, that is murder of democracy. It doesn't matter whether we win the vote or not. Let me make it crystal clear. So don't keep rubbing in that point. There is a message in this that we will not allow democracy to be murdered by the highest position, which is the chair. And add to that, it is nothing personal. Madam Sarangi keeps saying he's done this in public life and that in public life. He's an eminent lawyer, farmer's son, very good, well done. But when he sits on this chair, he doesn't have a face. His background doesn't matter. Only thing that matters is what is he doing while he's on that chair.
Parajita Sarangi.
It's painful to see what he's doing.